Oh, yeah. They ousted Mehdi Hasan. They yoinked him, presumably for being too pro-Palestinian. Yeah, they're canceling his show, both on mainstream news and on Peacock, and they're just keeping him on as an analyst, which obviously means, he's, yeah, being cut. Mehdi Hasan is fantastic. I was wondering if this was going to happen. Mehdi Hasan was way more principled, way more aggressive, and way more ethical than journalists are allowed to be in mainstream news. He was far more straightforward and active of an advocate for the Palestinian people and for goodness in general to be supported by a gigantic, corporate donor. The cable TV channel MSNBC and its sister network NBC's Peacock streaming service are canceling the weekend news show, The Mehdi Hasan Show, with its eponymous outspoken host. People familiar with the decision have told the news website Semaphore. More recently, Hasan had been made an outspoken critic of Israel's bombardment and military assault of Gaza after the state declared war on the Palestinian territories controlling militant group, following Hamas's mass murder attack on southern Israel October 7th. I love you, The Guardian. I love this phrase, following Hamas's mass murder attack, but Israel's bombardment and military assault just gets called a bombardment and military assault, despite having killed more than 10 times as many people. Thank you. That's great. Yeah. What does it even mean? Mass murder attack, like an attack on civilians, as opposed to what? The exclusive military targeting from Israel? Just, yeah, the language betrays their bias nonstop. This is the kind of journalist that you're allowed to be in America if you work for a mainstream, news outlet, not like Mehdi Hasan. Along with Mo Yeldin and NBC's Ali Velshi, Hasan was among the few Muslim anchors in American television. NBC faced criticism for temporarily taking those Muslim anchors off the air in the midst of the war in Gaza. NBC denies reports that it was sidelining Muslim voices and the move was purely coincidence. Neither Hasan nor NBC immediately responded to a request for comment. Yeah, I don't think there's been a statement from Hasan yet either. Has there been? Hold on. Mehdi Hasan. Let me see. Give me his Twitter. Has he yet? He doesn't follow me back. We're not Oomfies. Tragic. Nope, he hasn't used Twitter since the news came out. The odds that this is anything other than his coverage of the Palestinian genocide is, it's almost certainly that. I can't imagine it being anything else. Like just today, hold on, House Resolution Anti-Zionism. All but 2 representatives in the House voted that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. So that's good. Everyone's terrified of AIPAC primarying them. Which 2 reps voted against it? Tlaib voted present. The Republican Thomas Massie voted against. An overwhelming majority of House members voted in favor of a resolution affirming Israel's right to exist. Blah, 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 blah. The resolution condemns Hamas and so brave, so glad we need every single House member to vote on a resolution condemning Hamas, and says any denial of the country's right to exist is inherently anti-Semitic, a stipulation one member took issue with. Rep. Thomas Massie, a Kentucky Republican, voted against the resolution, writing on Twitter, "I'm voting no on the resolution because it equates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is deplorable, but expanding it to include criticism of Israel is not helpful," Massie said. Damn. Well, the one single Republican W makes me wonder if this guy is doing it because he had a brain aneurysm and was right for once, or if because he's a Nazi. Wiki Thomas Massie. Described as a libertarian Republican and a member of the Tea Party movement, which backed his candidacy for Congress back in 2012. Oh, do you think he's actually like principally opposed to statehood? He has a strong history of anti-Israel stuff, and he also supports Assad. Okay, all right, this is a wild card. We've got a wild card one here. All right, let's go. Oh, this guy's got a big page. Supported efforts to scale back our use of military force abroad. Supported efforts to withdraw from Iraq. Introduced a bill in 2019 to clarify no authority exists for military action against Iran. Okay, he might be like, I don't know, actually anti-interventionist. He's a complete lunatic. Okay, whatever. Massie was the only member of Congress to oppose an act that refused to recognize Russia's annexation of Crimea. Okay, never mind. He's pro-Russia. That's it. So yeah, that's like the easiest way to find out. Oh, this guy seems really anti-interventionist, the way he doesn't like American imperialism, and then he just constantly defends Russian imperialism. It's like, okay, gotcha. All right. Read about Sweden? Never. Channel president says removal of Mehdi Hasan aims to put network in better position for 2024 U.S. elections, The Hill reports. Oh, you snakes, you pieces of shit. It might not have been the Palestinian thing. They didn't want him on because he's critical of Biden. MSNBC hardlines for the Dems and there's a lot of like funding collaboration. They don't want him on there because he's openly critical of Biden's handling of this situation and many others. His replacement is Palestinian. What is that true? Who? What's their name? You say that like it's a bad thing? Yeah, I would say that firing one of the most principled and based journalists currently active, purely because that he correctly reports on things that make the current presidential administration look bad is pretty bad, probably. Ayman Moyeldin, is he Palestinian? It says he's Egyptian-born. Where does it say this guy is replacing Mehdi Hasan? I think I've seen this guy's face before. Iman, not Ayman? Okay, Iman, thank you. He's getting a 2-hour show. Well, that's pretty long. How based is this guy in Israel-Palestine? Okay, this guy seems pretty based. He's good, but not as good. Maybe he'll grow into being gooder with time. We'll see. We'll see. It doesn't replace Mehdi Hasan. Nothing can. Oh yeah, here we go. Semaphore reported Hasan's show will be replaced by extending news anchor Ayman Moyeldin's self-titled program to 2 hours. Moyeldin, who is Arab American, is also a critic of the Israeli government. Hasan will be retained by the network as an on-screen analyst. Yeah, in a note to staff quoted by the publication The Hill, MSNBC President Rashida Jones said the reshuffle aims to better position the network as it heads to the 2024 U.S. elections. So what happens if Iman is also critical of Biden? Does he just get schlorped? Moyeldin is only on Sundays. On the weekend show, he'll be replaced by 3 people, including Michael Steele, former RNC chair. Gotcha. Nice. It's a PR shuffle. Yeah, it makes sense. This is overall a net negative. Hopefully, Mehdi Hasan is able to continue his work. I'm sure he will be able to. You know, he's got a pretty sterling reputation to people with a backbone, at least. Still, it's pretty disappointing. I mean, disappointing isn't the right word. It's monstrous, but you know, whatever. Did you guys see the DAP? Yeah, the DAP. The destruction of all the Zionist propaganda. When Hamas was releasing some of the Israeli hostages.
Hi, go happy? Okay. Hi.
It's so over for Netanyahu. It's so funny, dude. What is this? It's Hamas releasing some Israeli prisoners, but beforehand they're like acting cordial, and they did a DAP. It's very funny. What happened? What do you mean what happened? We just saw a video. Did you miss it? That was a solid DAP too, yeah. Is that called a DAP? Yes. There's a longer video out there somewhere. I've seen people contest the validity of Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome isn't actually real. In reality, obviously, like, hostages being friendly with Hamas when they're still around Hamas is not exactly like an unbiased, you know, look at this shit. It's a PR video. Like, you wouldn't believe a video that the IDF put out of a Palestinian being super friendly and positive with like IDF guys, right? It's still funny though. Music. The hostage release. We're doing our high fives, you know. Going back to Israel, everyone. All right, we've had a good time holding you hostage. It's been great. Yeah, bring it in. All right, goodbye, everyone. It'll be nice. It was nice. Yeah, see you later. Dap me up. Go in. Yeah. It's just very funny. It's just very surreal, this video footage of Hamas militants, you know, like, yeah, what's that? Yeah, let's do it again sometime. Same time next year. Very funny. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything. Don't believe it. It's not meaningful. You know, the only thing that's really meaningful in terms of the only testimony that you should believe in is when the hostages are home and all of their loved ones are home too. Once they're all secure, at that point, I think you can safely trust stuff they have to say with regards to their treatment by Hamas. Before that point, you know, let's not be you know, fools here. Of course, we also shouldn't believe the like Stockholm syndrome bullshit because again, like it's not real. Because there will be people who will say, like, if any of the hostages say, you know, actually Hamas was pretty nice, like they kidnapped us, but they were chill about it, basically. Other people are going to say, oh, well, that's just Stockholm syndrome. In reality, they were raped every day or whatever. Again, you know, believe the hostages after they're secure and their loved ones are secure, and that's the best you can do, basically. Hamas made them watch videos of their attacks on October 7th? What? Boy held by Hamas forced to watch videos of the 7th of October attack, says aunt. What, like the highlight reel? What? 12-year-old boy who was held hostage in Gaza for 52 days was forced to captivity to watch videos of the October 7th atrocities, his aunt has claimed. I think I was connected to school, suffered horrors and described them as monsters. I was forced to watch films, the horrors, the kind no one wants to see. They forced him to watch them. Every time a child cried, they would threaten him with a weapon to shut him up. I wanted to believe that Itan would be well treated. Apparently not. These people are monsters. Yeah, that seems pretty well within the realm of possibility. Do we believe the aunt? It's Hamas, you know? Not gonna look at this indignantly and go like, Hamas wouldn't do that. You know? Like, I mean, like putting my hands in my hips, like, you know, they wouldn't do that, would they? I mean, it's not impossible if they're lying, but like, why would I disbelieve them on that, you know? It just sounds too ridiculous. Nah, I don't think so. It's pretty in line. You know, a lot of Hamas dudes are like super anti-Semitic. You kidnap a little Jewish kid and you hate him, so you yell at him a bunch and threaten him and like show him up stuff. Yeah, it seems it's pretty well within the realm of possibility. When Itan arrived in Gaza, he was reportedly hit by civilians, according to his aunt who spoke to his mother. When he arrived in Gaza, civilians hit him. He is a 12-year-old child, Cohen said. Are all of these accounts coming from the aunt of the kid? I guess it makes sense that you would get it kind of like filtered there, but I guess it does seem a bit weird. Vosh, other times when we had this happen, we've had a bunch of snuff films come out. I'm not looking for any of that. Is there a flood of Hamas atrocities being uploaded? Yeah. Yeah, Hamas recorded October 7th. I mean, a lot of them had like body cams and like video teams and stuff. They filmed like them openly like killing people and gunning them down, like very, very, very clearly and openly committing atrocities. Yeah. I mean, you can go find them if you want to look for them. I don't. It's all live leak shit. How have people still not seen it? You can. You just got to go to live leak. It's all out there. I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't think you gain much, you know, information wise. Isn't Live Leak gone? Is Live Leak gone? Oh, I didn't know that. Whatever. Live Leak equivalent. I don't know. Somewhere. Woody Munder, 78, said she was kept in a suffocating room and slept on plastic chairs with a sheet for nearly 50 days. In one of the first interviews with a freed hostage, Munder told Israel's Channel 13 television that initially they ate, quote, chicken with rice, all sorts of canned food and cheese. Holy shit, literally me? Her nephew, Shahar Moore, also spoke of the conditions. He said there were some aspects that you could say were fair. They ate with their captors. The captors made food and everyone ate. Man, can you imagine having dinner talk with Hamas after they've captured you? What the f*** you? I'm just trying to imagine myself in that situation. What the f*** do I? We're both like eating like boiled chicken out of a can or something, and I'm like, did you know to break in raw denim, you're supposed to bathe in warm water while wearing the jeans? Take another big bite, staring at this like 17-year-old boy with like you know, the headband and like his face obscured. He's like pulled his like mask down to open his, you know. Yeah, it can leave some dye into the water though, so you gotta be careful with that. Gets immediately executed. Me explaining that I did grow up in Beverly Hills, but I'm not actually Jewish. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I know, like, I've got, I've got like the beard. Yeah. I get it, like beard glasses, but no. I actually have a Catholic upbringing. Yeah. I Mehdi Hasan, one of your people, is on a major American news network. Check phone. Oh wait. I'm sorry, they just let him go. Sorry. Hit him with your tight. I don't have a tight 5. You've seen my streams. I've got a loose 50, okay? And I'd be dead before I got halfway through it. It'd be so hard for them not to kill you. Yeah, I would be. That truly is martyrdom for the cause of Islamic freedom from Western intervention, okay? It's not murdering me while I'm trying to do my loose 50 with my captors. I'm sorry. Okay. But I'm eating the canned chicken, and I'm sitting in like a shitty plastic lawn chair that they've got stuffed in their tunnel or whatever, and I'm like, you guys ever look into like the ergonomics of chairs? And it's over. That's how you bring about the downfall of Hamas. Okay, all right. They've never sat in an ergo chair, so I explain it to them, and they just get all autistic about it the way that I did, and it destroys their concentration. It's over. The horse talk would make them go insane. I think they'd agree with me. All things are possible under Allah. Thank you. All right. So everyone ate the same food. They tried to give them as much food as possible, but food was getting scarcer and scarcer as weeks went by, and getting flour was getting harder. They gave them a deck of cards so they could pass them. Oh, I love that. Even a hostage is saying, like, yeah, we were getting fed, but then thanks to Israel, they kind of started running out of food. I totally understand a Hamas dude offering vouch for saying he owns a HM chair. Yeah, they give me a blanket. I ask what the thread count is, and 3 gunshots ring out. Okay. Isn't the treatment of the prisoners kind of beside the point anyway, lol? Largely. My expectation was that Hamas would mistreat the prisoner. First of all, Hamas is not exactly a disciplined organization, so in all likelihood, treatment would vary depending on who is actually managing any individual hostage. There's like thousands of guys who run with Hamas, so it's there's gonna be a lot of variance. It's not like they have a tight command structure. For 2, they would probably be bad and mean, but they don't want hostages to die or get sick because that doesn't benefit them in any way. They want them as bargaining chips. So they would provide food, accommodations, shelter, whatever necessary to keep them alive as best as they could. Like it is not in Hamas's interest to just starve the prisoners they've taken. That doesn't make any sense. In terms of like openly abusive shit, my guess is that would vary like massively. My guess from the get-go is basically some Hamas dudes would literally be like chill dudes. Hamas is a jihadist org, but there are people who join up with Hamas who are not, I guess, principally jihadist. Like there will be Palestinians who join with Hamas who literally just want freedom for their families and are joining up like for a not necessarily secular, but they're operating on what they would argue is like a fairly rational basis, not purely like this jihadist martyrdom kind of thing. And they might be more chill. And then there will be some Hamas dudes who are just raving like religious nut jobs, and they would be super anti-Semitic and stuff. So like that would vary massively. So anything that fits in that line makes sense to me. If there is a hostage who says they got treated really nicely, maybe they were, but that doesn't mean all of them were, right? It's like a variance thing. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, Alec Gunter. I know they probably hate the U.S. generally, but they're probably still pretty afraid of what we can do, I guess. Like, the degree to which we involve ourselves in terms of, like, our presence off the coast or support of Israel. They don't want Israel to keep getting U.S. funding. Excuse me. Um, but he pointed out that Hamas had also killed his cousin, Ro. Ah, well, it's give or take with Hamas. You know what I mean? They gave us chicken and rice. We got a deck of cards. On the other hand, they did kill my cousin. So, you know. They could have given my cousin's life instead of taking it. That's more important than a deck of cards or a bowl of rice. Okay, so he's saying that he would have preferred his cousin not be murdered over getting the bowl of rice and the deck of cards. Okay, gotcha. So that's his assessment of the situation here. Okay. Did he condemn them, though? Oh, you know, Israeli media will be asking hostages who say something positive about Hamas to, like, condemn them for sure. So, yeah. Why is this a talking point? Well, it's mostly for propaganda purposes. In terms of, like, the overall state of the conflict and the genocide of the Palestinian people, you know, this is almost immaterial. You know, obviously we do want hostages to be treated respectfully and released safely. No matter how pro-Palestinian you are, there's not really any ethical argument in favor of random Israeli civilians being, you know, brutalized or murdered, you know, after being taken captive. You know, that's not really, it's not really a good ethical grounding for that. Wonder how Israel treats Palestinian hostages? You don't have to. We talked about it on stream the other day. Poorly, as it so turns out. Not well. So, yeah. How funny, sad would it be if the hostages were punished by Israel for saying Hamas treated them well? The ultimate gigabrain 6,000 IQ Netanyahu move is for a hostage to be released to say something mildly positive about Hamas, and then for them to be arrested under the new constitutional changes that allow for the administrative detention of people for consuming oppositional media to Israel, because they consumed the media of talking with Hamas, with speech being a form of media. So they're like seditious now. That might actually happen. That's not impossible. That's genuinely within the realm of possibility. I'm not joking. The Israeli media and the IDF would call them like a Hamas sleeper agent or some shit like that, you know? You hear how they've been banning celebrations of the hostage releases? What? No? On what grounds? Oh, of the Palestinian prisoners' release. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I thought you meant the Israeli prisoners. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Israel will, like, kill Palestinians for nothing. So, yeah, for sure. They don't want any Palestinians to be happy that they've been released, even though, like, thousands of them are kept in administrative detention with no, like, charges or trial or whatever. According to the Palestinian Prisoners Club, prisoners who violate the terms of their release and publicly celebrate are subject to a fine of 70,000 shekels or $18,700. The terms include a ban on passing out candy, a prohibition that seems to have been overly zealous enforced by National Security Minister Ben-Gvir fine boys in the Israel police. The candies were confiscated from the home of prisoner Amani al-Hashim in Beit Hanina, whose family had planned on passing them out to well-wishers. So, yep. You're released from a no trial indefinite detention for years. Your family sees you, they're happy. There are people celebrating. You all get arrested and fined $80 billion, which $18,700 to your average Palestinian living in like the West Bank might as well be. Nice. I love the very not evil Israeli state. Thank you. The Fine Boys just sounds like a precursor to the SS. It does. Well, in this case, Fine Boys, I don't think that's a proper noun, but yeah. If you ever want to know more about what's going on in Israel, by the way, Haaretz is like probably the most respectable media institution in Israel, and they are pretty solidly anti-Netanyahu, and their coverage on the issues have been pretty excellent, you know? They can't be militantly pro-Palestine because they would literally get arrested if they did so. But if you ever want to know more, like when I want to know more, Haaretz is easily the first place that I go to. I just go right on over there, look at what they have to say. Like, yeah, yeah. Biden has told Bibi that he shouldn't invade southern Gaza. Yeah, because this will be the real bloodbath, guys. Here's the question. If the IDF ordered an evacuation of everyone in the north to the south, and now the IDF has closed in on the north, what happens when the IDF goes south? Where will they go to? Biden doesn't want that bloodbath to happen during his administration. I do like how in this image it really looks like Biden is strong-arming him with like the this is such an old man thing where normally you put your hand on somebody's shoulder or like their back or whatever to like, you know, for this gesture, but he's doing the full-on like neck grab thing, you know? They're almost certainly going to invade the South, yeah. Is Biden based again? No, not even remotely. Nope, not even slightly. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. No real strong arming is happening here.